Good afternoon and welcome to this year's Spring 2023 Strive to Thrive Grant Ceremony. We are so happy that you were all able to join us for this great day celebrating the local nonprofit organizations in the Lincoln community. My name is Irene Basie and I am a current student of the Strive to Thrive class. This course provides Nebraska business students with the opportunity to grant funds to organizations that serve individuals in one of the following categories: early childhood education and care, mental health and wellness, refugees and immigrants, and re-entry or formerly incarcerated. By researching these 4 focus areas, we were able to apply our learning and dive into 24 different local nonprofit organizations. Before we get things started, we would like to say a huge thank you to Rhonda Seacrest for providing the funds for this semester's class. Without her, our amazing experiences wouldn't have been possible. It is my pleasure next to introduce Dean Farrell to speak about the impact that Strive to Thrive has had on the College of Business. Prior to earning her PhD in finance from the University of Georgia, Dean Farrell was an auditor for KPMG Pete Marwick in Baltimore and Atlanta and earned the designation of Certified Public Accountant. She received her bachelor's degree from Kent State University in Kent, Ohio. Dr. Kathy Farrell became the James Jr. and Susan Stewart Endowed Dean of the College of Business on December 1st, 2017, after serving nearly a year as interim dean. Elected this year to the Board of Directors for the AACSB, the accredited body for business colleges, Dean Farrell is an experienced and academic business leader. Within the College of Business, she formerly served as Associate Dean of the college for 4 years and Chair of the Department of Finance for 2 years. She also serves on the boards of directors of Lincoln-based organizations Nelnet, Assurity, and Brian Health. Please join me in welcoming Dean Kathy Farrell.
Thank you, Irene. Well, thank you all for being here this afternoon. It's so exciting to see this group. I always look forward to this event because it's such, in my opinion, an impactful course for our students to have. But it is only made possible because of Rhonda Seacrest. She's the one that's helped us match a grant that we initially got that has provided the funding that then our students are able to turn around and share with the community. But it's also a great way for our students to learn about the community and the needs within their community. And there's no better way to do it than actually, as Irene said, dive into it, because that's really where the best learning happens, is with that kind of experience. So I'm really glad that you as the students took the opportunity to take this class. It's an elective, and you chose to be here, to have this experience. But perhaps more importantly, what we hope is that you take this experience with you and you continue to invest in the community in which you live and learn and work, because that's what's going to make a difference moving forward, is if you're committed to doing that. And what you've probably observed is there's a lot of great organizations out there. I've had students every year come to me and say, we need more money. And I say, well, why do you need more money? And they say, because all of these organizations are great and we want to give more away. I said, that's exactly right. That's part of the problem, is all these organizations are great. And so one of the things that you learn to do is look at key performance indicators, define what's important to you in terms of the grant mission. And those are all of the things that help you determine then where to make your investment, where you want to have the biggest impact. One of our guiding principles here in the College of Business is make it matter. And I can't think of a course in our curriculum that's more about making it matter. And so thank you to the students, as I said, for taking this course, but also thanks to all of you that are here from the community and sharing with our students what your passions are and what you're passionate about, and for all the great work that you do impacting the lives of others. And so I just want to say thank you to all of you as well. And so with that, I'd like to turn it back over, I think, to Irene.
Thank you, Dean Farrell, for your constant support of Strive to Thrive Lincoln. Next, a few words from our professor to showcase what Strive to Thrive really is and share a little bit about the process we went through as a class. Amber Messersmith has been a lecturer within the management department of UNL since the fall of 2015. She started teaching Management 411 her first semester at UNL. This spring marks the 13th iteration of Strive to Thrive Lincoln, the project name and brand developed by that first class almost 8 years ago. She currently serves as president of the board of directors of the Hub Central Access Point for Young Adults, a local nonprofit helping to empower, educate, and employ individuals ages 14 to 24 who are disconnected from their families within the community. Her community involvement in Lincoln includes serving on the Pirtle Elementary School PTO board, teaching English courses to those new to the community, volunteering with the Foundation for LPS, F Street Community Center weekend lunches, and her church, Grace Chapel. While she has lived in other places in the Midwest and the East Coast, she is grateful for the opportunity to live in her home state of Nebraska with her husband, Jake, and their son, Drew. Please join me in welcoming Professor Amber Messersmith.
Thank you, Irene. I want to begin by thanking each of you, every individual here in this room, for making the choice to join us today. While I want you to feel welcomed, I also want you to feel the gratitude that I have for your support of what this class is learning and what they've accomplished over the past few weeks. In the next few minutes, as Irene mentioned, I'm going to share an overview of what they have done across the semester and how we approached this grant process. Perhaps the most significant thing that I can share is that what we're doing in this experiential learning class is real. It's not a case, it's not a hypothetical, and in a few moments, we will award $10,000 real dollars to 2 deserving nonprofit organizations. I want to emphasize the care with which we award these funds that have been entrusted to us. This semester, we've referred to this as due diligence. So what did this look like for the members of Strive to Thrive Lincoln? We learned about the community we currently call home, its history and its current challenges, along with the needs of our neighbors. We researched nonprofit organizations that align with the funding focus areas that were mentioned before. Those 4 were early childhood education, incarcerated or recently released individuals, refugees and immigrants, and mental health and wellness. We evaluated 23 nonprofit contenders. We participated in 12 site visits to interview organizational leadership and tour facilities. We deliberated as a class to make very challenging decisions about where that grant funding would be allocated. There are multiple experiential learning courses at UNL, and in the College of Business, these exist to provide future business leaders with hands-on experiences, enable them to what they call learn by doing, reflect on what they've done, and apply this knowledge going forward. This experiential learning course is appropriately placed in the community engagement category. Members of Management 411, the description of this category reads, in collaboration with community partners, you'll exchange knowledge and resources to the benefit of both you and your community. There's no doubt that this class would not work without the significant collaboration of our community partners, including all of the nonprofits, as well as members of the community who've shown their support for the next generation of philanthropists. Those are the individuals currently enrolled in Management 411. Over the past 3.5 months, we've witnessed that exchange of knowledge and resources. Nonprofits, you gave us knowledge about the powerful work you do every single day in Lincoln. And while we gave back through volunteering at a number of nonprofits and will give those grants today, I hope the exchange of knowledge and resources continues indefinitely with nonprofits, whether those nonprofits and members of this class are here in Lincoln or elsewhere. We can do this. Management 411, we can continue that exchange by sharing the good work that nonprofits are doing with our networks. We can make volunteer and board service a priority, and we can even individually provide financial support because we believe in the work the nonprofits are doing. Finally, I hope the experience did benefit both members of the class and the community. Benefit is not always measured quantitatively, not merely in a grant check. For members of the class, I hope you found it beneficial to become more aware of the needs around you, to grow in empathy, and perhaps gain a new view of our responsibility as citizens and fellow human beings. For members of the community, I hope you see benefit in the awareness of nearly 50 people now being aware of your mission, and I hope you're encouraged by the interest they took in what you're doing. Before I wrap up my time up here, I want to extend my gratitude to two specific people, Jana Gose and Taylor Beecham. Will you both please come to the front? These two individuals took the Management 411 course in previous semesters and have spent the spring 2023 semester meeting with and mentoring the current class. In the role of course liaisons, they have provided information, support, and resources for each team. And you'll hear more about our teams momentarily. Both of you, I appreciate your service to our class these last few months, the support you've provided me, and simply your partnership from start to finish. Would you all please join me in recognizing them with a round of applause? Again, thank you to each one of you for being here and for your support of Strive to Thrive Lincoln. Irene.
Thank you, Professor Messersmith. As we continue with our grant ceremony, you will all get to hear from a representative of each of the 7 task groups. These task groups are what allowed us students to take initiative this semester. Wilson, if you would like to introduce the administration group and get us started.
Hello, everyone. My name is Wilson Young. I had the privilege this semester to be working with our administration group. So our administration group this semester was responsible for maintaining the communication between our class and our guest speakers and also all the nonprofits that were being considered for the grant. Through this communication, we were able to organize our guest speaker visits to our classroom, find out more about who our guest speakers really were outside of their organizations, and also introduce them to the class. As the primary contact between our class and our MPOs, we created personalized messages and also gave them information throughout the entire grant process to keep them in the loop and let them know what's going on. We also created the master spreadsheet for our class. This master spreadsheet was a crucial part of our process in deciding which organizations would receive the grant. It entailed our class-written MPO white papers, a breakdown of the Form 990s that we received from the MPOs, and also all the contact information. Finally, I just want to say thank you to my amazing team members. Without you guys, this semester would have been possible. And I feel confident we laid a really great blueprint for future Management 411 administration groups. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name's Jamie Soderbeck. I was a member of the Class Evaluation Task Group. My group and I had the pleasure of leading the decision process that brings you guys all here today. Our main goal throughout this semester was to create a fair and collaborative way to come to our final decision. This responsibility required us to determine the method and the guidelines for each round of deliberations as we narrowed down our search to 2 winners. Although it was our job to facilitate these very difficult and important decisions, we could not have made it here without the participation of our entire class. So as Wilson said, thank you all to our entire class and to my task group.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Hunter Olson, and I get to be the representative for the Public Relations Group, which as we've got the opportunity to be the behind-the-scenes group of those who's looking into this class and posting pictures on social media, as well as the blogs for this class. Those include our task groups, our just what we did in a class in general, public site visits, and well as our public, what am I missing the words here? Oh yes, our, explained our journey. This semester I was having our group write tasks and introduction posts at the beginning of the semester and taking pictures of each guest speaker and those in the community during our site visits. I just want to thank my group for everything we've done this whole semester. It's been a blast, and I think this class was the best class I've had in all my 4 years of college. And thank you to our winners. We're glad to have you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you again for being here. My name is Megan Ryan. I had the wonderful opportunity of being in the Service Project Task Group alongside Abby, Austin, Caitlin, Grace, Jack, and Jared. As a group, we were in charge of getting all of the nonprofits kind of organized and along with our students so we could partake in different service projects throughout our Lincoln community. Some of those service projects included surveying at the Center for People in Need, engaging with some kiddos at the Belmont Community Center and EduCare, and also facilitating an annual event with the Heartland Cancer Foundation, and so many more other events that we're so grateful to have been a part of. After completing all of our service projects, we also got the wonderful opportunity of facilitating an all-class service project reflection day. And this entailed just getting to dive deeper into the meaning of service and the value that service has for the Lincoln community. We discovered that service does not always look the same and how exciting it is to see all of the ways that service can be completed. We shared experiences, made connections to future opportunities, and got to reflect on what service means for us and for the Lincoln community. Being able to serve the people immediately around us and in our communities is an incredible gift, and I, myself, and the Service Project group is grateful for the opportunity to be able to open the eyes of our peers to the value of service in our communities. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Chloe Heller and I got to be on the site visit task group along with my awesome teammates Reagan, Lucia, Devin, Matt, and Nick. We got to play a big role in the decision-making process for our grant. And after other task groups and classmates helped us narrow it down to 12 nonprofits in Lincoln through white papers and deliberations, as mentioned before, it was vital that we, as a class, needed to arrange a site visit to each NPO to execute due diligence on these organizations fully. After contacting and congratulating all 12 NPOs for making it onto the next round, we designated one task group plus one site visit member to go on 2 different site visits, one on Monday, March 27th, and one on Wednesday, March 29th. We were able to get in contact with everyone and have some sort of deeper interaction with each of the 12 NPOs. Not only is this an essential step to take in the grant distribution and decision-making process, but we saw as a class the impact that stepping into a site visit could make and experienced all sorts of emotional impact together. I can confidently say that we would not have come to as great of a decision as we did without site visits this semester, and I'm thankful to be a part of this group.
Hi guys, I'm a little short, so I'm gonna have to. Okay, good afternoon. My name is Katie Nelson, and I'm representing the Grant Ceremony Task Group. We've been given the great responsibility of planning and putting on this event. So we made it our job to, honor this exciting community philanthropy and, of course, celebrate its impact. But we wanted to just give you an insight on what this grant ceremony process has kind of looked like. Having access to the grant ceremony from last year was great for final vision and thinking about the layout. We ran budget calculations, drew up layout drafts, argued over the menu, so those chicken popcorn bites, yep. We got to see a College of Business conference room, and if you're a College of Business student and you haven't seen a conference room, you need to. The College of Business does not sleep. We got to meet Amanda Colburn, who was super helpful in executing and planning this event. We planned for the setup and welcome committees, made playlists, created invites, table toppers, printed photos, which brings us all to here and now. I can really only speak for myself, but it's been really rewarding to learn about my community and see the hard work, the culmination of the hard work of the community, my group members, our class, the nonprofits, just come together to make a positive difference in our community. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Abby Rojas, and I'm speaking on behalf of the fundraising team. Throughout the semester, our role is to execute a fundraising plan for the local nonprofit outside of the two that we select for the initial grant. As a class, we chose to support the Friendship Home, a nonprofit here in Lincoln that supports victims and families affected by domestic violence. They offer various services to help these individuals get past this challenging time through shelter, support groups, meals, and several other accommodations they might need. Their mission exists to support, shelter, and advocate for survivors of domestic violence and their children. We held an online fundraiser and promoted it through the College of Business, marketing channels, announcing it in our classes, sending it out on social media, and any other way we could draw as much attention to it as possible. We had much success and ended up raising a grand total of $1,140 with a total of 35 donors. We are very pleased to have supported such an amazing organization and thank all of our contributors and supporters for this cause. Unfortunately, Whitney Wagner of the Friendship Home is sick and unable to be here today. Whitney is the development coordinator for the Friendship Home. She has been with the Friendship Home for 10 months, with her primary focus being fundraising, event planning, and donation. Here are some words that she sent for us to hear. For over 40 years, Friendship Home has been saving the lives of survivors of domestic violence. Friendship Home is the only confidential domestic violence shelter program in Lincoln and Lancaster County. This not only makes them unique, but their services are vital. Survivors of domestic violence can access safe shelter, as well as comprehensive support services at the Friendship Home. In 2022, 1,155 survivors of domestic violence were served at the Friendship Home, 64% of them being children. This fundraiser means a lot to the Friendship Home and the survivors served. From March 29th to April 17th, Strive to Thrive raised $1,140 for the Friendship Home through 35 separate gifts. Through your generosity, you have ensured that the Friendship Home can continue to be here to help survivors and their children during this dangerous and uncertain transition. Thank you for supporting the Friendship Home. You have truly made a difference in the lives of those served.
Thank you, Abby. Each task group that you have just heard about played a crucial role in the success of our class this semester. Because of the team effort this class requires, without the work, dedication, and cooperation of every member of this class, we wouldn't have succeeded the way we did. I would also like to take a minute to recognize the nonprofits that were in the running. We had a very hard decision, and I can confidently say that each nonprofit deserves this grant. But it's time to recognize our winners. I would love to welcome Isabel and Kate to announce our first recipient.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kate Trader.
And I'm Isabel Clements.
At the beginning of the semester, we selected the Belmont Community Center to write our nonprofit white paper on.
In doing so, we got to research the Belmont Community Center and interview their executive director, Emily Koopman.
We immediately admired Emily's passion for the Belmont Community Center and knew that we were going to root for them throughout the semester. We are now honored to introduce Emily as one of our grant recipients. Emily combines her bachelor's in business with her master's in intercultural and urban studies by living at the intersection between community building and youth programming. With Gallup strengths like woo and strategic, she enjoys the role of executive director because it gives her a chance to build on visions and recruit passionate people to the cause.
Outside of work, Emily loves to jazzercise, listen to audiobooks, and watch her favorite show, MTV's The Challenge. Emily tag teams her life with her son, 7-year-old Max, and together they enjoy making killer playlists and hanging out with their dog named Luna. Now please welcome Emily Koopman.
I got 2 sticky notes to guide the way here. Thank you so much, everyone, for having me. Again, my name is Emily, and I am also a College of Business graduate, so shout out to us. I will just say, let me talk a little bit about the community center first. Many of you know we have 3 program areas that we really focus on. We do school age programming, so that's before and after school programming, as well as summer programming. We use our facility for community use. We have a basketball court, a gymnasium, and we have a baseball field and a meeting room. Our meeting room gets used by AA. It gets used for birthdays and funeral luncheons and anything the community needs. And then lastly, we do early childhood. We have preschool programs for ages 3 to 5 years old. And I will just say in all of those areas, we are at max capacity of all things. Our community, we have been a part of our community for 85 years. Last year, we celebrated 85 years in Belmont. The community center started in 1937 and started from the heart of college professors. So this is a real circular, beautiful moment for me, to be honest, just to think about the BCC history and my own history and the history you all have in being a part of this process as you go on past your college lives. So early childhood, I know that was kind of our bread and butter this semester in talking to your class, and so I want to highlight a couple things about our early childhood programs. When I first started in 2020, I started in August, and they were like, hey, you need to start a preschool program in September. I said, oh, okay. And I found a wonderful woman named Kylie, and she, at that point, was working at a different center, and I told her, I don't have a lot of money. I have just enough money to pay you more than what you're making now, but it's not a lot. But I said, if you could just give me 1 year, we will figure this out. And so what started as just Kylie teaching 10 students and opening from what was a half-day program, maybe 8 to noon, Kylie then opened that to be an all-day program, 8:30 to 3:30, 10 kids. In year 2, it was 20 kids, and then by year 3, we've opened 2 classrooms and serve over 30 kids a day. And we are crunching numbers to get as many kids in those doors as ever, because early childhood is just such a need in our community. There's not enough spaces for students, for young people. Families need quality care so they can be a part of our workforce. And so even the journey of early childhood in my small start of this process in just the 3 years I've been at the BCC has been magnificent. And one of our biggest goals after we maxed out our programs, we got students everywhere, one of our goals was to build a playground. We have a tiny rectangular patch of grass. That's, excuse me. That is what it is at this point. And so we have been dreaming and scheming on how to fill the fence. That was our hashtag, fill the fence. And so we gave our Give to Lincoln Day profits last year towards this goal. We have worked with other community groups who have donated big amounts. And this Strive to Thrive class, choosing us, has helped us to really believe we can get the playground we know our kids deserve. I remember when they came for the site visit and I was showing them the playground booklet that was like, oh, here is 2 tiny slides. It cost $22,000. And they were like, oh, and I could tell you guys were sad for me, and I appreciate that. Because I was sad when they told me it cost $22,000. But this gift, this grant money is gonna go towards our playground. We are gonna fill the fence. We're gonna get surfacing, rubber mulch surfacing made from Nebraska tires that get ground up. So again, just trying our best to constantly think about everything we do, every decision we make is for our community. So whether it's the surfacing of our playground or the opportunity for not just our early childhood kids to play in that playground, but kids in all of our communities. There's 2 parks right nearby the Belmont Community Center, but they're built for kids who are bigger. The fall height is different. The surfacing is different. and those parks are utilized by different kids. So having a park in our neighborhood for ages 3 to 5 that is open and accessible to all is going to be such a huge thing, and huge for that period of brain development and gross motor play. So I really, truly appreciate this gift. I want to wrap up and just talk a little bit about what this process has meant for us and what it's meant for me. I came as an 18-year-old to the College of Business, not this fancy one, but to the College of Business. And I really thought, like, I'm just trying to make a lot of money and get out of Nebraska. Like, that is my goal. 18-year-old Emily was just going for it. So, and I think that what has inspired me today and throughout this process is that no matter where you end up in your career, right? I took a whole left pivot and I went far left and decided to not make as much money and join nonprofits. But what I've learned is that it's the passion that matters the most. And this is what my passion is. And this is what I'm going to do with my business degree, because it's what I'm built for. It's what I'm made for. And as you go out into your work and you're doing the work that you're built for and you're made for, you already have this foundation to use those skills to also be of service to your community, to be philanthropists, to volunteer your time and your efforts and your skills. And so I have seen that in all of you this semester, and the folks who have visited particularly. I've seen that just now in your 7 work groups that each person who came up and spoke said, this was so hard. We had to work as a group on this. And I just find that really inspiring, because the more we're willing to just work hard on behalf of what we do in our lives, but also on behalf of each other, is going to make all the difference as we grow in community together. A quote I like to use from Dorothy Sayers. She's actually like a crime writer, like Agatha Christie style. So you're like, why does this make sense? But she writes a paper or writes an essay about why we work. And she says in there, along some sense, when you're working with community, you have to, 1, have sympathy for the community, understand the community. 2, you have to be yourself in the community. You don't need to become anything you're not to be in that community. So have sympathy for the community, be oneself, be yourself in the community, and then serve the work. Just do the work well. Whatever it may be, do that work well, and we will see our communities thrive. So thank you very much. In the center. Come here, Kara. Pop your little head over the check. All right. Oh, Kara, don't leave.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emily, and congratulations. My name is Connor Freeman, and along with Caitlin Tabert, we were able to spend our time learning about the Bridge. The Bridge Behavioral Health is a professional, nationally accredited treatment center specializing in treating alcoholism and drug addiction. We are excited to celebrate them as our 2nd recipient of the Strive to Thrive grant. Please join me in welcoming Tammy Stevenson, Executive Director of the Bridge.
Good afternoon, and thank you so much for having us today. I want to start off with a few thank yous so I don't forget them, but to Rhonda Seacrest for funding the opportunity for the students to be able to award funding to nonprofits, the Learning by Giving Foundation, as well as the College of Business, Professor Amber Messersmith, as well as all of the students who participated in the Strive to Thrive class. The Bridge Behavioral Health is a substance use mental health treatment center that serves Lincoln, Lancaster County, as well as Southeast Nebraska and South Central Nebraska. And quite frankly, we're starting to serve people from all over Nebraska because of the uniqueness of some of our services. We provide critical services relating to substance use and mental health, including detoxification and withdrawal services, a substance use respite program that provides safe, sober housing for those who are waiting for treatment, residential treatment, which typically lasts between 45 and 90 days, as well as outpatient services, which includes substance use evaluations, as well as outpatient counseling. We also have a number of meetings, AA and NA meetings, that are happening in our building each week. So it's a great place for those who are in recovery to come back to maintain their recovery, as well as to provide support for a lot of our clients that are currently in services. Over 85% of those that we serve are considered low income and either do not have insurance or are eligible for Medicaid. Many of our clients are justice involved and have legal issues that they're also working through while they're getting treatment. We have a strong partnership with Lancaster County Community Corrections as well as probation, and we serve many individuals with legal issues, actually admitting many of them directly from jail. So when I received the invitation to participate in this project, and I saw that two of the class's priority groups were mental health and wellness and the recently incarcerated, I was shocked. Those aren't sometimes typically the focus groups that we see for grants. And so I was really very, very pleasantly surprised. I think I mentioned this to the students. It's something that we say, we're not the sexiest nonprofit in town. We're dealing with some really hard stuff. People are coming to us on what they often describe as one of the worst days of their life. They're coming full of shame. They're coming embarrassed, anxiety about what getting help might mean. And often it's taken them a long road to get to that point where they can ask for help. And again, then you throw in the stigma around substance use and mental health, the added stigma of somebody who's been in jail or who has legal involvement. It just doesn't give some folks the warm fuzzies that some of our other great nonprofits in our town do. So I think that's why it's important to me as well, because on the surface, I can see why maybe it wasn't the sexiest one to choose. But I would also venture to say that there are very few people in this room who have not been touched by a friend or a family member who has struggled with substance use. May have impacted you in a different way, maybe in a very close way, or maybe from a distance, but addiction and mental health impacts so many individuals. 1 in 5 Nebraskans are struggling with mental health or substance use, 1 in 5. And the anticipation of those numbers increasing as a result of the pandemic the last few years, we see the problems and the issues only increasing. The people we serve are your neighbors, your brothers and sisters, your aunts and uncles, and your parents. Addiction is a disease. Mental health is health, and everyone deserves a second chance. For the Bridge, $5,000 is a significant gift. I really just could not be more grateful. The funds that we're going to receive will go directly to client care. We will be able to purchase workbooks and program curriculum materials for our clients. We'll be able to purchase medication that state behavioral health funds won't cover. We'll be able to provide transportation that we can't get assistance for because our clients don't have a way to get places. We'll also be able to provide essentials for them, being able to keep up on things like sheets and towels and pillows in an emergency-based program where you're seeing, we serve over 1,000 people every year. So this money will go to those essentials that will go directly to client care. As far as the process, it's been incredibly rewarding for me. I have enjoyed meeting the students, telling them about the bridge, as well as giving them a tour. We were fortunate in that we had a client who was willing to tell his story. So we had the opportunity for a client to be able to, it's not always, it's certainly something that would be a client's decision, and we just happened to have one that felt comfortable telling his story. I love talking about what we do. I love planting seeds in the minds of young people about what a career in the nonprofit world could look like. It's an incredibly rewarding experience, and I think there's a lot of myths about what it means to work at a nonprofit. And so it's just something that I think this class gives such an opportunity for students to learn about that. And of course, if you choose another path, if you choose to go a different direction, I encourage everyone to get involved. Find a nonprofit that you are passionate about and volunteer your time, whether it's 2 hours a month or 2 hours a year or serving on the board of directors. We need bright, creative people like students. I think sometimes younger people may not feel as comfortable reaching out, but we need your perspective. We need your minds and your thoughts and your ideas on our volunteer team, on our board of directors. So I would just encourage each of you to take this class with you and to stay involved, whatever community you end up, whether it's in Lincoln or somewhere else, and take that passion and what you've learned into our communities, because we cannot do it without you. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you everyone for those insightful words on your guys' nonprofits. My name is Addison Roth, and I was part of the grant ceremony task group this semester. I've been given the privilege to talk to you all about the impact that this class has had on us as the students and on our community around us. Management 411 is a class titled Leading People in Projects. Organizations are a complex system calling for leadership processes, including the leader, the follower, and the context to enact change. That is the opening sentence from the course description. And that last sentence specifically is what this whole class is about. It's about enacting change. Nonprofits are started because someone in our community saw a need and they wanted to do something about that need. As we got the chance to dive deep into each of these 24 nonprofits, first we got to read about them, and then the 12 that we got the chance to visit, we got to see the change actually happening in their workplaces every day. The impact that these nonprofits have had on our community and communities throughout the world is the real definition of enacting change. Now for how all of us students fit into this. At the start of the class, it seemed very overwhelming. I don't want to speak for everyone sitting over there, but it seemed like a very daunting task to start with a list of 24 and have to narrow it down to 2 people. Once we started this process, we began to dive deeper, and as we dove deeper, we realized that whoever won the grant ceremony money, it was really going to be used to help these nonprofits. So whoever got the money was going to use it in a very good way to help them in the future. We come to college and professors ask us how we're going to impact the world and what we're going to do as students to change the world. From this class, I have learned that these answers do not have to be long and drawn out impossible things. It can be as simple as volunteering at a nonprofit. Giving up some of our time is just as valuable, almost more valuable than money. We, as a Strive to Thrive class, is honored to be a part of the group and have the opportunity to enact the change in our communities. Thank you for doing this and continuing to enact change. As we close, we as a grant ceremony task group wanted to thank Ms. Amanda Colborn. She is the Assistant Director of Facilities and Events for helping planning our ceremony. Dean Kathy Farrell for her constant support of Strive to Thrive Lincoln. The College of Business IT staff, Yes Chef Catering, who provided our food in the back. Dr. Jim Crofton, the Management 871, that's the nonprofit management class. They helped us with all of our finances, and all of my fellow students who worked very hard this semester. And last but not least, we wanted to thank Professor Amber Messersmith for her dedication and passion to this class. This class has really provided us life-changing experiences and something that we will take with us for the rest of our lives. To conclude our ceremony, we do have a slideshow of pictures from throughout our site visits and from just different parts of our class. If you'd like to stay in touch with Strive to Thrive Lincoln, be sure to follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. We thank you for joining us today, and let's give another round of applause to Belmont Community Center and the Bridge. And of course, go Big Red.